Hello, my name is Hazefest. I'm a variety streamer, and today we're looking at Dark Age of Camelot on the Phoenix Free Shard server, and we're going to be making an AutoHotKey script for the Stealther classes, Infiltrator, Shadowblade, and Nightshade. So it's going to be different depending on which realm you are, but for the purpose of this basic introduction to AutoHotKey, I'm going to show you how to do all this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about where to get AutoHotKey. So let's go ahead and go to the live screen. You just go to AutoHotKey.com. It'll take you directly to the web page. You'll just click download, and then you'll click the download current version. Once you've downloaded the script and installed it, you will reboot your computer. When you reboot your computer, you can then go to your desktop, and then you can right click, go to new, and you can say AutoHotKey Script. Once you create the new AutoHotKey script, you can just right click on it, open with Notepad, and then it will give you this screen here. And then you're gonna just highlight everything, delete it, and you will paste the data that I give you. Once you paste the data that I give you, you can save it if you want to use the exact same keybinds that I use, or if you prefer to go in and change stuff and make it your own, we'll show you how to do that, because I'm going to set up a script from scratch. So first thing we're going to do is just set up your bar. So it's Garrote, Achilles heel, hamstring, leaper, rib separation, thigh cut, stunning stab, creeping death, backstab 2, and then perforate artery on 10. So we're going to set up Garrote, Achilles heel, hamstring, leaper, and rib separation as our first button. Right here. We're going to use our one key to trigger this line of text. So what this says is Control F6, Control F7, Control F8, Control F9, Control F10. So the way that we need to set this up in our keybinds is we need to make keybind 5, 5. We're going to do this backwards. So 5, 5, which is rib separation, should be Control F6, keybind 5, 4, going to be Control F7, keybind 5, 3, it's going to be Control F8, keybind 5, 2, it's going to be Control F9, and keybind 5, 1 is going to be Control F10. So now, according to this string, it's going to execute 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'll show you what this looks like in a combat situation. I'm going to pull this guy, and I'm just going to use the one key, and it should Garrote if I don't evade, and it should go into the hamstring if I do evade. So there is Garrote and the after style. There's the evade. Goes right into the after evade style. Yep, uses all 3 chain. So that's 5 buttons on one key. Pretty easy. Let's go back to the dummies, and we'll set up our next set of stuff. Next string of attacks. Okay, we're back at the dummies. Now, if you wanted to improve upon that first style with Garrote and the after evade, what you can do is you can add stick. So if we take our stick macro and we put that on bar 7 as number 3, we'll then make a keybind for 7, 3, since that's where it is. And we'll make this Control Y. And we'll make it control Y in our string here. We'll save it. We will run this as an administrator. It's going to replace our current version. Okay, so now when I hit 1, it should stick and Garrote the enemy, unless you miss. But now it sticks on top of doing Garrote. So that's great. Next, let's go into the Perforate Artery and the Backstab portion of the script. So we're going to take the first string of data, we're going to copy it and paste it. I like to add a space to keep things looking good. And then let's set this to Perf and Backstab. We'll set this as button number 3. We will set this as Control F1. So Control, and then since F1 is 2 buttons, if you just put F and then 1 like this, that is Control F key 1 key. So you need to put the brackets to represent that it's 1 key press. And now we'll do Control 2, Control F2, like that. And that will be our Perf and Backstab. So we'll file, we'll save it. In the game, you're going to do \qbind. And we had our Backstab and Perforate as 9 and 10 on bar 5. So we're going to do 5, 9, enter, Control F1, and then 5, 10 as Control F2. Wait a minute, it's freaking out. Control, there we go, F2. All right, so now we have Backstab and Perforate Artery on 1 key. Let's test them out. Do not forget to save and rerun the program. So we're stealth. Let's walk up, hit 3. Got our Perforate Artery off. Let's go back to the back and test Backstab on 3. Walk up, hit 3. So now Backstab 2 and Perforate Artery are on the same button. Let's do the follow-ups. The follow-ups are going to be Creeping Death, Stunning Stab, and Thigh Cut on bar number 5. That's 6, 7, and 8. So what we need to do is have it go in the reverse order. So 6, 7, and 8 are going to be in that order. So we need to do 5, 6, and we'll do that as Control F3. We'll do number 7, which is Stunning Stab, as Control F4. And the last one as Control F5 on F8, on slot number 8, sorry, Creeping Death. And what that looks like as a script, just copy and paste. Follow-ups. We'll make this button number 4. The reason we have to separate these buttons is because it will not work if you put them all on the same key. And that's because you have to put them in the reverse order. So you have to start with Stunning Stab in order to do Perforate Artery. And if you're stealth and you push the button, it will trigger Stunning Stab before the logic reaches Perforate Artery, and it will unstealth you and you will fail majority of the time. So to avoid that, you just make 2 separate keys, one for the 2 openers, and the 3 follow-ups go on a separate key. After extensive testing, it took me a few days to figure that out. So we now have our Thigh Cut, Stunning Stab, and then Creeping Death in that order. So we're going to file, save, run as an administrator, yes, overwrite. Let's test it. So we stealth, walk up, we'll hit 3, and then 4, and then 4 again. So there it is, all 3 on 2 buttons. Go to the back side, we'll test follow-up for Backstab 2. So we will stealth, walk up, 3, 4, And it works. I'm going to show you how to take 3 weapon sets. So I have a total of 6 weapons, 2 in my hands, 2 in my 1 and 2 slots, and 2 in my 3 and 4 slots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poison all 6 of these weapons in a single key press, and this will save you a lot of time of having to dig around in your inventory in the middle of a combat situation and figure things out. And once we poison all these weapons, I'm going to show you how to set up a macro to swap your weapon set. So you have a main hand offhand swap out, and then you have a secondary main hand offhand swap out. So we'll have 3 weapon sets that you can swap between in the middle of a fight. Let's see what that looks like. So in order to pull this off, I need to take this, move it down, we'll say poison weapons. We'll make this number 7 on our bar, and we'll delete this data here. So in game, let's go to bar number 6, and I want you to change your poisons, just drag them to the bar so that you have greater infectious, life bane, greater innervating poison, and crippling poison. If you don't use any of these poisons, it's fine. This is just for demonstration. Once you have drug all of your poisons to your bar, set up a switch macro for each weapon in your inventory. For the purpose of this video, my macro is /macro space 1 as the name, space /switch space 1h space 1. So if you look at the text box there, it's macro 1 space switch 1 hand 1. So that is going to be my macro for the 1 position and the 3 position you see on the bar, which is number 5 and number 7. And my macro for my offhands is going to be macro 2 /switch offhand 2. So my 3 are my 6 and my 8 is going to be slot 2 and slot 4 respectively. So what these do is if I push my button, you can see in my inventory that it's swapping out my main hand. And if I do this for the 2, it'll swap out my offhand. And same thing for 3. It swaps out my number 3 slot with my main hand and my number 4 slot with my offhand. The point of this is we're going to create a script that's going to utilize all these buttons. So what we're going to do is we're going to set the Q binds up for these. So on bar number 6, we're going to type /qbind 6-1. We'll make this F1 for my first poison. Our second poison is going to be F2. Our third slot poison is going to be F3, and our last slot poison is going to be F4. Alright, our weapon swaps for number 6, our slot 5 here, is going to be 6-5, that's the slot it's in, and it will be F7. Our offhand in slot 6 is going to be F8. Number 7 is going to be F9. And our number 8, which is our second offhand, is going to be F11. So what does that look like? So we have our infectious poison in F1. So we want to do F1, F2. This will put infection and life bane on our currently equipped weapons. Now we swap our weapons with F7 and F8. Now we have a completely fresh set. We're going to apply F3 and F4 to our second weapon set. We're going to swap to our third weapon set with F9 and F11. And then we're going to apply F1 and F2, which is our infection and life bane, to our last set of weapons. So as long as you have an odd set of weapons, 1, 3, 5, 7, you can use this type of macro setup so that it will swap all your weapons, poison each of them with whatever poisons you want, and then the last set you end up with will also have infection and life bane. So now that we have this as set to number 7 on our keys, it's going to execute this string, and if I do file save, I'm going to run it as an administrator. Now if you look in my inventory here, up in the top right, I'm going to hit 7. It's going to poison everything and swap it all out. There it did. It just swapped everything. It poisoned all of my weapons. Let me just check real quick. Yep, that's got charges. This has charges, and this has charges. Okay. So all 6 weapons total has now been poisoned. There's the first ones. We'll swap weapons to our second set. There's those poisons. And we'll swap to our third set, and both of those go off. Great. Do a side and back style. So for this we're going to do flank and pierce on our bar number 7. So if I type in qbind 7 space 1, it's going to ask for a key press. We'll make our blank in number 1 control Q. We'll make our back style just pierce control E. So now if I come back over here, I can take this, copy it, put it at the bottom. We'll space it out just to make it look nice. And we'll make this side and back. Oops. Side and back. We'll make this number 2 in our list. And this is going to be control Q, control E. Since we have our stick as control Y, let's go ahead and throw that on there. And I think that's it. The only other thing I would recommend putting stick on is your perf and backstab follow-ups, so that when you perf or backstab, you can then hit the follow-up button and it will automatically stick the target in case they try to run away, which might be handy. So let's go ahead and throw stick, which is control Y at the beginning of this string for backstab and follow-up. Let's save it, run it as an administrator, overlap the previous. So now when I come in here, I hit the 2 button, it sticks and automatically uses the appropriate style for whichever slot that I am in. Like that. Also works if you're just running up on an enemy and you want to tag somebody, you can hit 2 and it should stick and hit the person. Same thing for the side. Now that we got all our keys set up, let's set up a representation for a visual reference for our bar. We're going to set it up so that I take the styles that are appropriate to those particular keys. So Perforate, Artery, and Backstab is now on 3, so we'll put it there. We'll take Garrote and we'll put it on bar 1 so I know what 1 does. For 2, which is going to be our side and back style, let's go ahead and put the side style there to represent that. Our number 4 key is now our creeping death and our stunning stab, so we'll put that on there. 5 is a weapon swap, so we'll just make a macro that says swap 1, and we'll just make it blank so that it does nothing. And swap 2 goes into the number 6 slot, and then our last number 7 is going to be a poison. So we'll put a poison on there so that we know what that does. And that's going to cover all the stuff that we have for that. If you do a lot of farming on your infiltrator for any reason or any other class that you might be curious about, let's make a pull out my bow and fire automatically macro. So bow and fire automatically. Hard to spell, bro. We'll make this our 8 button just for giggles. Now, this character in my keybinds has H as pulling out the weapon, and I'm gonna take the actual crossbow and move it to my hotbar as 0. So we'll make it H0, H0. Looks like ho-ho. Save. We're gonna run it as an administrator. And if for any reason you're leveling as an infiltrator or whatever, you can still do this. So now if I hit 8, it's gonna pull out my crossbow no matter what weapon I'm using, and it's gonna fire a shot automatically. Hit it again with the weapon out, and it's gonna fire a shot and reload automatically. Just like that. Key factors. Do not put stick on your Perforate, Artery, and Backstab button. That is a no-no. You'll get killed doing that. Do not recommend. You have your follow-ups to Perforate, Artery, and Backstab on a separate key. After extensive testing, that needs to happen. You got your anytime styles. You got your poison setups. And if you want to change anything out, you can do it on the hotbar. If you're just going to swap one skill for another, that's fine. But if you're actually going to change the keybinds, you need to make sure you go into the script and change whatever you change the macro or the keybind as in the script, so that way it'll work properly. And then make sure you save it and then run it as an administrator. So I make all my changes in Notepad. If you have a different program like Notepad++, whatever text program is fine. You can even do it in Word if you like. So yeah, have fun with it, check it out, get comfortable with it, modify it, change it, and you know, throw me some feedback. If you are enjoying it, if it was really helpful, if you learned something, let me know. If you have questions, let me know, and I'll try to answer them. And if I can't answer them for you in a text message on YouTube, then I'll do it as another video. But I'm Hazefest, I'm a variety streamer, and I play Dark Age of Camelot on Phoenix. Looks like we just have a raid here. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a great blast in my childhood. So I really hope that this video helps you out. Hit like, follow me on Twitch, follow me on YouTube, and yeah, hope to see you in game, and I hope to see you on the channel. You guys have a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And one last thing. This is not against the rules on Phoenix. If you go to the Phoenix forum or the official website and look at the rules, I will post them for you. This program and the way I've showed you how to use it is not against the rules at all. So there are things in AutoHotKey that are against the rules, but I have shown you nothing that will get you banned or hurt your reputation. So hope you guys have a great day. I gotta go.